Good afternoon, thank you very much and welcome here to Mangard Park, the Kildare Centre of Excellence just outside Newbridge in County Kildare on a big day in the ladies football calendar, the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter-finals, and we are here for the game between Kildare and Tyrone. Kildare have been the form team this year, only one defeat. Indeed, when they won their last game against Louth, it was 10 wins in a row, but for Tyrone, also considered All-Ireland contenders, not long down from senior, and they'll feel they have a big chance. I'm Darren Kelly, joined in the commentary box by Tommy O'Connell. And Tommy, even taking your Kildare cap off for a second, if you're picking one of these four quarterfinals to go to, no doubt this would have been in the conversation.
Now you said it, and I don't think either team wanted each other either in that draw when it came out. Very, very similar teams, and we see it as well that Tyrone played their football in Division 2 this year. Kildare won Division 3. The last day out, you see Tyrone drawing with Clare. Kildare were very, very tight with Clare this year as well. They're so similar across the pitch.
They're so similar across the pitch, and two form teams. Of course, it's the only quarterfinal today, Tommy, where both teams are unbeaten. Kildare, of course, won their 2 games in the group. Tyrone came out of their group with 3 games without defeat, finishing second because of the draw with Clare.
Exactly, and both teams were tested a bit as well. We see Kildare got a bit of a fright up in Leitrim and had a couple of tight games. Tyrone as well would have been expected to put Wicklow away by a bigger margin than they did, and they were very, very tested that day. It was a fantastic game against Clare as well the last day. Clare were well ahead and Tyrone came back at the very end. You know, I think with 5 minutes to go, I think Tyrone were 6 points down against Clare, and they just came back and stayed going, and Kildare have the same fighting attitude. I think it's going to be fantastic today.
It will be fantastic too, and that's the resilience we're going to look at. Let's run through the 2 teams. We're going to start with Kildare first, and they line out as selected in the match programme. In goal number 1, Mary Hull-Grain. Full back line of 2, Lauren Burke. 3 is Leisha Linehan, and 4 is Aoife Clifford. The half back line were number 5, Larry Gilbert. Centre back number 6 is Ruth Sargent, and 7 is Lauren Murta. In midfield were number 8 is the captain, Grace Clifford. Partner by number 9, Aoife Rattigan. The half forward line, 10, Trina Duggan. 11, Nasa Dooley, and 12 is Claire Sullivan. And inside line, Tommy, of Ellen Dowling at 13, Roisin Byrne 14, and Lara Kern 15.
Yeah, exactly, and everybody at this stage knows what Roisin Byrne can do. They know what Nessa Dooley can do. Kildare's defence as well is going to be tested today. The last day we saw a really good man-marking job done by Aoife Clifford in the corner back role. I wonder, will she pick up Maria Canavan today? That'll be very interesting because she does it, but Lauren Burke is also a player marker. That's what she loves, to get tight on her markers. That's going to be a really interesting matchup in that back line.
Diana Hoare is the Kildare manager as well. We're just waiting for the Ron Naveen in just a moment. So we'll quickly run through the Tyrone team as we're waiting for Daz. And the Tyrone, one change from the team announced during the week. Sinead McVeigh is in goal. A full back line of 2, Joanne Barrett, 3, Caoimhe McGee, and 4 is Emer Quinn. The half back line were number 5, Jane Lyons. Centre back number 6 is Caitlin Campbell, and 7 is Maeve Corrigan. We'll go back to that in a moment. This is Ron Naveen. That was a Ron Naveen as the Kildare and Tyrone players get themselves ready for the match. And apologies to Tyrone fans there as we're running through the starting teams. I'm going to go from scratch again with the Tyrone team. In goal number 1, Sinead McVeigh. Full back line of 2, Joanne Barrett. 3 is Caoimhe McGee, and 4 is Emer Quinn. The half back line were number 5, Jane Lyons. Centre back number 6 is Caitlin Campbell, and 7 is Maeve Corrigan. In midfield were number 8, Emma Jane Gervin, partnered by the captain, number 9, Aoibhinn McHugh. The half forward line 10 is Eva Hurrisk, 11 Gráinne Rafferty, and 12 Emma Hegarty. And an inside line, top of the right, number 13, Maria Canavan. Full forward, number 14, Sasha Byrne. And coming into the team now, top of the left, Tommy, is Emma Mulgrew. She wears number 24.
Yeah, Daz, if you look at that line up the middle for Tyrone, it's absolutely solid. It's big, it's strong, it's dynamic. They love breaking out at the back as well at pace. Now, that might leave them a little bit vulnerable today against a really good Kildare team full of pace. That midfield partnership of Gervin and McHugh as well. Coming up against Aoife Rattigan and Grace Clifford, I think that is going to be huge. Look at that goalkeeper, Sinead McVeigh. Wait till you see her kick-outs. That's something I want people to look at today. She loves bypassing any kind of a high press at all. She gets it over that half-back line and it lands in the midfield. That's something that Kildare wouldn't be too used to. They're used to dealing with short kick-outs, teams working their way out. So a lot of pressure on Grace Neef in the middle to deal with those high balls.
As you mentioned, that'll be a challenge for the Kildare team as well. They often set up well to read the game, and that's what will have to happen today. But I suppose the argument, Tommy, that's often put with Kildare is that they struggle when the weight of expectation is on them. And while this is a very 50-50 game, in my opinion, Kildare are slight favourites. They are the team at home against the Tyrone team, considered All-Ireland favourites at the start of the year, but coming in under the radar a little bit.
Exactly, and I'd say Tyrone, they feel like they're probably in a better position today because there isn't as much expectation on them. Kildare have been in unbelievable form this year. I mean, we know the run they've been on at the moment. One defeat all year is absolutely phenomenal. Tyrone are coming here, I'd say they're very happy to be under the radar. Kildare, there's a lot of expectation on Kildare, but in fairness, they've answered that all year in the big games. Even when they're behind, we see in the extra time in the league final against Clare, down by a couple of points in the second half of extra time in the league final, it looked like they were gone. They found a way to win the game. Tyrone last week found a way to get back and draw with Clare. Two teams that are not going to give up. If this is tight, we could have a long afternoon.
We will have a long, and hopefully it is in a cracking contest as well. I asked you about Kildare there, but even taking Tyrone, because while I talk about them as potential All-Ireland favourites, let's call it form is not being great. They were a Division 2 team. There was never any fear of relegation, but they did lose 4 matches over the course of the campaign. They were beaten by Antrim in the Ulster Football Final. Now we've seen how well Antrim are doing this year, and of course that's another game live here in the LGA streaming network too. So they have underperformed since the return to intermediate football.
They have. Now they'll be happy obviously to stay in Division 2 because they would have struggled a little bit. Now the teams that they lost in Division 2, in Division 2 against like an extremely strong Armagh team who went unbeaten throughout the league, and they're deservedly gone up to Division 1. So we're going to see how Tyrone fare today, but they have underperformed a little bit. Again, I mentioned that Wicklow game earlier. A lot of people expected them to put up a bigger performance against Wicklow. Coming to the closing stages, only a goal in it. different little things like that might annoy them a little bit. But listen, on a big day, you'd hope they'd step up.
The Kildare team are back on the field to play there, but we just heard the clapping in the background as well. A wonderful atmosphere here in Mangard Park, the Kildare Centre of Excellence. It's become a home for Kildare ladies football this year in particular.
It really hasn't. They have turned out as well. We see all little kids there from Stratford and Clane as well. They were lining up beforehand. All the parents, they've brought them in. You need to create a buzz like this, especially. Like, this is such a huge game. This is knockout football, All Ireland series, and you're at home. I mean, you don't often get that. Sometimes you have to travel all around the country, and to get that incentive to get your supporters to travel, whereas today it's in Hawkfield, wherever you are in Kildare it's close, and we can see they absolutely have. The side terraces are filling up, the stand is packed, we're taking up a couple of rows here at the back, or a couple of seats at the back I should say, but I can't wait now. The atmosphere is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, our commentary box has been more condensed this year because we wanted to make sure we looked after the supporters that are here for this game. One of 4 TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter-finals that are taking place today, and you have the option to watch them all. We hope you stay with us here for Kildare against Tyrone, but we have Antrim against Monaghan, we've Wexford against Leitrim. The winners of this game play the winners of Wexford and Leitrim, and of course Clare against Westmeath. There has to be a decision today, and Tommy, I would not be one bit surprised if we have extra time in this match.
No, you said it exactly. I wouldn't be one bit surprised as well if we have a few shocks around the country today. A lot of these teams have stood up. You see Leitrim there, after they lost that Division 4 final, they stepped up to give Kildare a huge fright up the northwest. I'm going to be really interested to see those scores coming in as well, and obviously see who the winner of this faces.
Well, we'll keep an eye as best we can on the other games, but our focus is here. The referee is Gus Chapman from County Sligo. The ball is thrown in, the game is on, and this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter-final is underway. Emma Jane Gervin for Tyrone winning the first ball, getting it down to Emma Hegarty, one of the key leaders of this Tyrone outfit. She finds a teammate as Tyrone try and create a first scoring opportunity. This is Eva Horrisk, and good defending there from Kildare to bring the ball out towards the 45-metre line, and a chance for them to get a breather. Lara Gilbert, the player in the ball, playing a 1-2 with Aoife Clifford, and Kildare have the ball in the middle of the park, and of course Grace Clifford, the captain, she will orchestrate the Kildare attack in this game. Nessa Dooley, one of the top scorers on the side, gives it back to Aoife Clifford again from Easttown, and she sends it forward to Larry Gilbert, who's pushed up in an advanced role. Aoife Rattigan in possession of the ball, and Kildare will just slow it down for a moment. They wanted to dictate the terms on their home ground, and Tyrone will be patient, pulling players back. I think there's 12 behind the ball at the moment as we go out the far side of the field, and Claire Sullivan sends the ball down in towards the attack, and Roisin Byrne might get an opportunity to do something with this. The referee says too many steps, and it'll be a free out for Tyrone.
See, Roisin tried to make she tried to make an impact immediately. She gets the ball, she's so confident with running, she tried to use her strength to get by. Unfortunately for her, caught over carrying this time. Tyrone at the other end, it was actually a nice attack from the throw in, some great interceptions, some great defence by Kildare at the back.
Sinead McFay, you talked to her, Tommy, about the kickouts, but she's gone short in this. Okay, well, it's actually the free out that was given back to her, so it's Emma Jane Gervin bringing the ball again up towards the 45-metre line. Tyrone in red today. Their centre back is Caitlin Campbell, and she goes past the 65-metre line, finding it hard to get past Ellen Dowling, but she does well. Gives the pass off for Maria Canavan. Maria Canavan sends the ball to a teammate. It's in towards the attack, and Kildare needs to be careful, and Lara Gilbert with a second important touch in this game, keeping it away from Sasha Byrne, who's a dangerous scorer as well. She has scored 2 goals in the championship so far, and Kildare will move the ball out the far side of the field. Nearly 2 minutes gone here as the number 7 Lauren Marta helps launch an attack, giving it to Lara Kern, who scored a goal against Louth 2 weeks ago, and again Kildare will hold it around the 40, trying to see who's the better option. It might be Claire Sullivan, and Claire Sullivan is skipping through there, and this is good for Kildare. Gives the pass in for Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with a kick in the post for Kildare. Unfortunately for her, that ball goes to the right and wide, first wide of the game.
Another one Roisin a bit disappointed with, but again, see what Claire Sullivan did there, breaking through the middle. It opened up like again the Red Sea for her as well. She had so much room, and Claire has that pace and penetration that she will set up the others for these shots.
Now, just to hold up and play it there at the moment, I don't know if it's to do with a gum shield or something, but he's had a word with the Tyrone number 5, Jane Lyons, and a centre to the line for the moment. So I think he indicated a gum shield or something there, Tommy. So be, yeah. Tyrone have go with 14 players for the next play at least.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as well. You see Lara Gilbert here has been extremely clued in for the last couple of Tyrone attacks, as you say, 2 very vital interceptions. Player of the game last day against Louth, of course, and she's shown again that she's tuned in. Tyrone, in fairness to Tyrone as well, like they're trying to play it out from the back, and they're trying to get that ball up as quickly as they can to Maria Canavan. Kildare stopping them the last couple of times.
And this is Tyrone on the move there again. Our number 24 is Emma Mulgrew. Back now to Grania Rafferty. And Grania Rafferty, part of this Tyrone team. The last time these sides met in the championship was back in 2014. Tyrone were 317 to 113 winners on that occasion. Roisin Byrne played that day too. But she's on the move for Kildare. She's getting close to goal when she takes the defender on. She tries to take on Joanne Barrett. Turns on her left. Thought about the shot. Needs support. Nessa Dooley's the player to provide that support. They can hear the Kildare supporters in the background. They love that counter-attack. They love that score. And Kildare in front.
Brilliant from Roisin Byrne. It was funny. It was like you're at a tennis match here. All the heads were gone to the left and then they shot back to the right when Roisin got the interception. Roisin's pace. She was all on her own. There were 7 Tyrone defenders around her. Nessa Dooley got up there quickly and stuck it over the bar.
She stuck it over the bar. The first score of the game. And it goes to Kildare. Emer Quinn, the Tyrone number 4, with possession the far side of the field. Referee spots an infringement, so Tyrone will restart the action inside their own 65-metre line, and in space there is Quiva McGee. She's a fullback for Tyrone, takes the hop of the bounce, kicks the ball to the left to Aoife Horace, who's probably the closest to scoring for Tyrone in the early stages of this match, but she's trying to find a way past Trina Duggan. Does very well to get inside the 45-metre line, gives the pass across to Emma Jane Gervin, another player busy in the early stages of this match for the Ulster team, and Emma Jane has found a few yards here. She might consider going for an effort. And you can see Lauren Murta out there to try and put her off. And Lauren Murta, the daughter of Johnny, does well and gives it to the captain, Grace Clifford. And Grace Clifford is on the move, but is there options pushing forward for Kildare? Lara Kern is there, but Grace has had to turn back as the Kildare players were probably just a bit slow. And of course, in a day like today, well, the temperature's dropped a little bit since the ball was thrown in. It's managing energy as well. We'll get Tommy's thoughts on that in a second as we watch Trina Duggan. And Trina Duggan outside the 65-metre line. Tommy, just will keep an eye on the play, but Kildare probably could have just needed a few more bodies up a bit quicker.
They did as well. Even saw when Roisin broke as well. That there was nobody to give her a hand. But in fairness, Kildare defending very well. Here goes Ruth Sargent.
They're on the move again. Ruth Sargent is the centre back, where number 6 gives it to Nessa. Nessa Dooley on the right. She's going to have a go, and she just knew herself the contact wasn't fully on that. You wouldn't blame her for having a go though after getting the point earlier.
And listen, if I'm over a Kildare team, I want Nessa Dooley shooting in that situation. She's a fantastic accuracy, and again, more good defending back there by Kildare. You see, from a Tyrone point of view, Aoife Horace here, number 10, she's been screaming for the ball. She wants it. She wants to take on that Kildare defence, but she probably hasn't got as much as she would have wanted.
No, just one breakaway, but the Kildare defence dealt with it at the time. Emma Mulgrew in possession for Tyrone again, outside the 45-metre line, gives it to the captain, Avian McHugh. Avian McHugh sending it out the right. Grania Rafferty involved in the action again, but Tyrone now just trying to slow it down a little bit. They realised they wanted to play fast at the start, but Kildare were catching them out with the 3 scoring opportunities. Jane Lyons back in the field of play, has dealt with the gum shield issue and kicks it to Aoife Horace, because Tommy mentioned just wants possession of the ball. She'll attack down the left flank there as well, and Trina Duggan will be keeping a good eye on her. Support is coming from Jane Lyons if she can find her, but the referee spotted a foul and is hand in there, so it's going to be a free in for Tyrone, and this will be an opportunity, looks like, for Emma Jane Gervin is going to, or Gerwin, sorry, I should say, is going to take this. I don't think she's going to go directly because their main free taker would be Maria Canavan, but in possession now is Sasha Byrne. Sasha Byrne back to Emma Jane Gerwin, back to Sasha again, and Sasha within range, surely the equalising score of the game. She's kicked it to the right and wide. We've had a couple of poor shots in the game so far, Tommy. Obviously a bit of nerves on an occasion like this.
Absolutely as well, but you can see with Tyrone as well. Again, Aoife Horace finally got the ball that she was looking for. She took on, won the free. But look at Sasha Byrne there. She did that. She's done that a lot lately. She gets the ball. She's so powerful. Very similar to Roisin Byrne in position and strength. The way she runs straight at the defence. Should have been over the bar.
Lauren Murta is on the run, and she's doing a Roisin Byrne now. Kicks it in the direction of Lara Kern, and Lara gets the bounce in it. There has Nessa Dooley in front of her. Kildare getting in close to the goal. Opportunity for Nessa Dooley with the shot. Finishes it off with the point. 7 minutes gone in the game, and when Kildare do move at pace, they get rewards like that.
Exactly, and good work as well.
It's in the direction of Lara Kern, and Lara gets the bounce in it. There has Nessa Dooley in front of her. Kildare,
one of the most prolific goal scorers in the country at the moment, so she would probably had that net in her eyes, stuck it over the bar. Good start for her.
She'd scored a hat-trick in the opening game of the championship against Leitrim back on the 11th of June. Interestingly, she hadn't scored a point before her opening score in this match has added 2 cents, and no doubt she'll be looking for more, but so will players from Tyrone. You saw Maria Canavan there wearing the number 13 jersey, has won the free in the process and decides to send it out towards the right in the direction of Emma Hegarty, and a bit of a sloppy mistake there from Tyrone, giving the ball away cheaply.
Absolutely, Tyrone can't do that. They can't do sloppy mistakes like that. It's a 10-yard free gone over, and Kildare get back possession. They need to cut that out if they want to get back into this game.
Claire Sullivan has the ball inside her own 65-metre line, gives it to Grace Clifford, and Grace across to Aoife. Aoife, and now Aoife of the Clifford clan passes the ball forward, and Claire Sullivan will have another go with this. Larry Gilbert is pushed in front. A well worked move there by Larry Gilbert, but was well marshalled by Aoife Horace, who's shown that she's well able to defend as well. And Lauren Burke will send a kick down in the direction of Aoife Rattigan, who keeps the ball in play. Aoife Rattigan playing as a midfielder, but is a very dangerous forward as well. Did well when they got beaten by Longford Kildare in last year's championship, that ultimately led to them getting knocked out in the group stages. They're looking to go much further this year. Grace Clifford with the ball, skips inside two Tyrone players, finds Lara Kern. Lara Kern with the ball, thought about pulling the trigger, turns inside but just loses control of the ball. Maeve Corrigan not making it easy, but there is Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling with a shot and a save from Sinead McFay, and Kildare are getting very dangerous as they get closer to goal.
Yeah, they're being very patient, as they're actually, that's what they're doing as well. They're looking for the opening and they are getting them.
I was a bit premature in my criticism of their movement a few minutes ago. Kildare has shown their well able move at pace. Aoife Clifford wins the ball back and gives it to Trina Duggan, and Trina Duggan past the 45 metre line and looking around for options. Will she go herself? Well, Trina, she has split in the forwards, has split in the backs. Lara Kern to Nessa Dooley. Nessa with two already, gives it back to Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling tries to sell the dummy to the Tyrone player. She wasn't buying it, was Emma Mulgrew, and the mistake is made by Kildare. Tyrone win the ball back, but really needs to get down the other end of the field and get a score and get themselves off the mark. Haven't quite done that yet. Caitlin Campbell might be able to inspire that as she moves towards the Kildare 45 metre line. Back to Maria Canavan, has scored 11 points in the championship so far. Sends it out towards the right. Tyrone have played 3 games. Grania Rafferty with possession, but you can see Ruth Sargent there just staying tight and gives it back to Maria Canavan again. Maria looking for her dozen points of the campaign. This might be it. She goes for the kick. It's going to be close. Mary Hulgrain, the experienced goalkeeper, the 2016 All-Star, wins the ball, gives it to Ellen Dowling. A couple of kicks later, and it's out in the direction of Nessa Dooley, who scored 2 points and is back inside her own 45.
Maria Canavan will be disappointed with that. She is prolific, you know. She you can see there, she was always looking for the post. Again, Mary Hulgrain very solid on the ball. See Ellen Dowling going way back from the full forward line, looking to make up for a couple of mistakes up here. She probably should have took on a shot the last time as well, and ended up losing possession.
Nessa Dooley sends the ball in the direction of Roisin Byrne. Lara Curtis there as well, has a bit of space, decides to go on her right side. It'll be a great score if she gets it. It was always going to be difficult when she was forced onto her right hand side, and that is the third wide of the game for Kildare. Just mentioning, Kildare played 2 games in the championship this year, beating Leitrim by 5-10 to 4-8 in their opening game on the 11th of June, and the 2-8 to 3-point victory they had against Louth 2 weeks ago. Tyrone also unbeaten, big scores against Wicklow and Offaly, 3-10 to 110 the first game, 4-16 to 1-7 the second, and that draw with Clare in the last match, 3-6 to 2-9 it was. Emma Jane Gerwin got 2 goals on that occasion, meant that they ended up coming second in the group because Clare kicked the ball over the bar more times on that occasion. Grace Clifford with the ball in the middle of the park, sends it out towards the left, and a chance now for Lauren Murta just gradually bringing up the field, looking for options, and Claire Sullivan is always there waiting for the ball. The referee blows the whistle, spotted something he didn't like, and it's going to be a free for Kildare, and they're just between the 65 metre line. We can tell you the main stand here in Mangard Park is absolutely full. We had, as Tommy mentioned in the pre-match there, we managed to keep 3 seats for ourselves in the commentary box, and of course our cameraman John Murphy perched in the middle of them all as Aoife Rattigan in possession, and there's good Tyrone support here as well as the home support from Kildare. Kildare at home because they topped their group, but they're running into problems here that won't faze the red-handers. But Roisin Byrne with possession, sends it out towards the left, but well read by the Tyrone defence, and they'll bring the ball up the field and past the Grania Rafferty, and a chance now for Tyrone to counter-attack, but just slowing it down that little bit. They need to be patient too, as Tommy mentioned. Quiva McGee with the ball, now with a bit of space in front of her, kicks the ball out towards the right, and this is an opportunity now for Emma Hegarty, but she took the challenge there. No foul, says the referee, as we play continues on. Eventually a decision is made. Looks like we're going to have a free in for Tyrone.
Yeah, good attack from Tyrone. Kildare again probably overplaying it a little bit. You know, Diana Hoare would be looking for a few more runners off the ball. Kildare only 2 points after 12 minutes for the possession they've had and for the control they've had on the game. Very similar to the Louth game the last day. Kildare lots of possession and lots of attack. A few wides they will not be happy with at all. It just takes one attack from Tyrone again to get a really good free here from Maria Canavan.
We're going to have a blood sub for Tyrone because Emma Hegarty's going over that challenge, and it's going to be knee views. They're number 23. They will enter the field to play, at least temporarily anyway. Just talking about conditions here. Well, absolutely superb for football. Very little breeze. There's a slight breeze we can feel. Though the flags are, which colour, blowing towards the left. Though I feel it's hitting off my right shoulder. So I don't think it's going to have any serious effect on the scoring as Maria Canavan opts to kick the ball back outside the 45-metre line. And Tyrone will hold up possession. Emma Mulgrew taking the pass there from knee views in the blue boots. Well, she's not leaving the blue boots, she has the white boots on. She has the ball again and thought about giving the pass up and decides to go past the 45-metre line, gained a few yards, leaves it for Emma Jane Gerwin. Emma Jane looking at the opening score, might send it inside there, and the Kildare defence is smothering out the space, committed the foul in the end. It's going to be a free in for Tyrone, and you would feel now, Tommy, this will be their opening score of the match.
This should be their opening score of the match. Probably a little bit harsh on the Kildare defence there. I thought they had marshalled Tyrone very well there going forward. You'd imagine Maria now would get off the mark here, and Tyrone probably deserve it as well. They've attacked in the last couple of minutes. They wanted to get up the field, they wanted to get at that Kildare defence, but this is a good opportunity to get them off the board.
So Maria Canavan, I mentioned already, she's got 11 points in the championship so far, looking for the perfect dozen, what she hopes will be a good day for her team. Kicks the ball at the post, the umpire nods to head. They're normally quicker to do that, but the ball goes over the bar. 14 minutes gone. It's 1 point to Tyrone, 2 to Kildare.
Exactly, and just like her uncle Peter Canavan as well, a stylish footballer. Some of the scores she's been putting up are fantastic. Kildare can't afford to give away frees anywhere inside that area, or Maria will put it over.
Yeah, the scoring zone for Tyrone is definitely going to be lethal for Kildare if they allow that opportunity. Larry Gilbert with the ball again, gives it to Trina Duggan. Trina Duggan going to skip between the 265-metre lines, plays for Radigan, and Larry Gilbert, the pass just gets away, but good recovery from Larry Gilbert. You can hear the Kildare supporters, they appreciate that. Nessa Dooley, Taifa Radigan, back to Nessa, and Nessa moving through the hands around. It's going to be a free in, but she might need it. That's going to go back for the free in, for the hand out in the shoulder, and an opportunity now for Kildare and maybe Roisin Byrne to get off the mark.
You would imagine so as well. Again, more good work by Kildare, but they got a little bit lucky as well. That ball did break down. I think it was Lara Gilbert did extremely well to win that ball back. Start the attack for Nessa as well, who was looking for her third point. She looks like she's really on it today. She looks like she wants to attack that Tyrone defence, and Roisin needs this now as well to get off the mark. Yeah,
but even as you mentioned Larry Gilbert too, like when the mistake is made, whether they came from the pass or her position, is to recover straight away, not to give it up, and she didn't. That little touch to Nessa Dooley setting up the eventual free here, and now it's an opportunity for Roisin Byrne to get off the mark. 15 minutes gone. Roisin Byrne has scored 11 points in her 2 games in the championship, make that 12 now as well. Roisin Byrne and Maria Canavan might be having their own competition, but Kildare lead Tyrone by 3 points to 1.
Exactly, and Tyrone are the same with Maria Canavan the other end. Once Roisin Byrne gets anywhere inside that scoring zone, actually when it comes to Roisin, if it's anywhere inside the 45, she does a very, very powerful boot. So we'll see how we get on as well. But it's starting to shape up nicely here now, Daz. There's a nice kind of an open feel to it as well. Even the mistakes as well are opening up the game.
Yeah, it is. Both teams are playing very, very positively, it has to be said. Just slowing it down at times to make sure they make the right decisions. And you'd expect that in a TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Championship quarter-final. And that's what we're watching here in Manguard Plus, the Kildare Centre of Excellence. And we hope you're enjoying our coverage, brought to you in association with Stream Sport, as we watch Jane Lyons flying down the right wing for Tyrone, gives the pass off for Emma Mulgrew. Emma Mulgrew finds a teammate, and that teammate is Emma Hegarty, is back in the field of play. Thankfully, it wasn't too long. She was out of action. The referee spotting the foul there again, and Tyrone getting another opportunity to try and keep themselves in this game. And Tommy, as you made the point there as well, while Tyrone are lacking scoring opportunities, to have it nearly as much as the ball as Kildare in this match so far, but they won't be too phased with Sean O'Kane that they're only a point or 2 down.
Exactly, and they are getting up the field as well. We've seen a couple of teams recently with Kildare, they actually struggled to make it past the halfway because Kildare pushed up so high, but Tyrone are making it right in front of the Kildare goals as well. And if you can stay running that defence, they might get it free, they might get it pop it over the bar, but it's the positivity from the Tyrone attack which is really good.
Crony Rafferty was involved in the possession there as Tyrone hold it around the 45-metre line. Plenty of red jerseys knocking around waiting for the ball. One of them is Jane Lyons, and Jane Lyons gets fouled in the process, so it's going to be another free in for Tyrone, and the referee will be punishing most physical contacts or any forms of impediment. I think he's making a tick in his book there, so somebody getting chatted to there at the moment at the Kildare side of things. And Tyrone, we've seen on occasions, Tommy, they've played the ball back. They're not willing to take risks. Dare I mention the Dublin football 80% rule or anything like that, but they're not willing to take risks until they get with themselves very, very close within range.
Yeah, exactly, and you see maybe they were put off a little bit by being shut down by Kildare in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, but they have found their way through a little bit. When Tyrone took risks against Clare, it involved a big long ball in from Emma Jane Gervin, and they got the goal that got them back into the game, so maybe they need to take more risks.
Aoife Horace gives the ball to Saoirse Byrne with the yellow boots. Saoirse going to pop it back there to Maria Canavan, and this is number 9, Aoife McHugh. She's her third top scorer so far. Saoirse Byrne goes inside, and she went in, and you can hear the opinions of the Kildare supporters in the background. I did think myself she leaned into the Kildare defender that little bit, but the contact has been made. Tyrone get their free, and definitely going to bring this back to a 1 point ball game.
Yeah, I think Saoirse knew what she was doing there. She knew the contact was coming from the Kildare defender. She did lean in a little bit, but again, a foul's a foul, and that's what the referee sees.
Saoirse Byrne has scored 2-4 in the championship so far, 1-2 of that against Offaly. She captained her club to a county under-16 title back in 2013 and is a very, very dangerous attacker for Tyrone. This looks like they're going to be Gráinne Rafferty that's going to take that free, and Gráinne Rafferty puts the ball over the bar. 18 minutes gone, it's 3-2.
Now, you said it as well. It's actually interesting as well that Gráinne Rafferty probably isn't getting on the ball as much as Tyrone would like. She's very much the playmaker in that attack. She drops deep to get the ball. She's a lovely, stylish footballer as well. They'll want to get her on the ball more. Yeah,
Tyrone do most of their scoring from play normally in this championship, but they've scored 2 frees in this match so far. Gráinne Rafferty with that, bringing her tally for the campaign to 1-4 from their 4 matches. This is Ellen Dowling, where number 13 gives the ball to Nessa Dooley, and Nessa Dooley forward to Aoife Rattigan, and Aoife Rattigan moving down the right as their player inside in the gap, not to be. Roisin Byrne was looking at going in, but Aoife Rattigan is going to go herself. We mentioned what a dangerous forward she can be when she pushes forward, and she gave an example, scored the game definitely, 4-2.
What a score for me for Ratkin. I was literally here thinking to myself, why is she moving in? There's nobody around her. She's going into a dead zone, and what a shot to hook that over the bar.
I was too, because I was just looking at the gap that Kildare were leaving inside, and Roisin Byrne was turning back into it there as the Tyrone players left it open, but Aoife Rattigan backed herself and puts it over the bar. 4-2. Only her second point of the championship, has to be said, but Caoimhe McGee will take the ball for Tyrone, and she gives it off to Joanne Barrett. She wears number 2, and the Tyrone defenders will play with it for a bit. Maeve Corrigan out in the direction of Emma Hegarty, and Emma Hegarty out to Jane Lyons, and Jane Lyons down to Aoife McHugh. A good training ground move from Tyrone, and the captain will try and make it count as they go inside the 45-metre line. There's options to the left, there's options in front. One of them wasn't Leisha Lenihan, who managed to get in the way for Kildare, wins the ball, and the Lily Whites have turned that around and getting the high challenge in there, and the referee just having a word with the player. It's going to be a free out for Kildare, but Tommy, as you mentioned there too, I think it's the second time standout where Kildare players just read it perfectly to break out a Tyrone attack.
Exactly, brilliant work by Leisha Lenihan, but again Aoife McHugh showed as well exactly what she can do. She's a very strong runner, pace and power, and again if she broke through there again, there was 3 Tyrone players inside looking for the ball. Fantastic work from Leisha Lenihan.
Grace Clifford is going to take this free on her own 45-metre line. 20 minutes gone in the first half of this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Championship quarter-final, and it's Kildare 4 points, Tyrone 2, and Kildare playing with the ball inside their 45-metre line, and as you've seen the pattern with both teams, they just move it patiently up near the 65 and then put on the afterburners and see what they can produce, and that's what Kildare are going to try to do now as they kick forward by Leisha Lenihan in the direction of Roisin Byrne, and Roisin Byrne shakes off. Caoimhe McGee is moving down the right. Roisin will try and turn it inside, and Roisin Byrne has the advantage with the free. Just slowed down. I think the whistle did blow. The hand was out for the advantage first, and Roisin just seemed to pause for a moment. Maybe the whistle went prematurely, but either way, it's going to be a free in for Kildare, and this will be a chance for them to put 3 between them.
Yeah, in fairness to the referee there, I don't think the whistle did come. I think Roisin might have seen the free coming, didn't see anything going on around her, and just said, I'll have a crack at this.
Roisin Byrne fancies herself in the free, looking for her second of this game. And she gets ready to take this. Tyrone not taking any chances, putting 3 players on the line and 1 in front of the free taker. But Roisin Byrne with the free for Kildare. It's going to be very, very close. The umpires seem to like it. The Kildare supporters like it. The ball has gone over the bar. 22 minutes gone. 5-2.
Absolutely super kick again by Roisin. She's so accurate in those areas, and she's accurate off both feet as well. Again, in certain positions as well, you will see Ellen Dowling taking some of the frees with her left foot as well. But Roisin is so accurate. Great work again by Leisha Lenihan. Originally after winning the ball, and in the next phase of play, driving through the heart of the midfield as well and playing the ball off.
Leisha Lenihan doing well there and helping to create that score, and you could argue it's a 2-point swing in one way, but Tyrone will try that again, going for Laura sharp kickouts today. It has to be said, we weren't expecting that. We thought Tyrone would attack the middle, but maybe they're biding their time to see how this contest materialises. Hasn't worked out well for them so far, but still a lot of football to be played here in Manguard Plus, as Aoife McHugh tries to see if she can get a bit of space in the hands. Well, the referee says too many steps. Aoife McHugh is trying to power her way through, but the Kildare defenders just kept their hands blocking out the route. They overturn the pass, and it's out towards the far side of the field. And this will be an opportunity now for Kildare to see what they can work on this occasion, as Ellen Dowling gives the ball to Nessa Dooley. Pass inside for Lara Kern. Lara Kern sending it back. This is going to be a kick in the post by Ellen Dowling. I think it was into the hands of the goalkeeper. It's actually Nessa Dooley who hit it at that occasion. And Tyrone, Sinead McVeigh has been composed in goal so far, has to be said, despite what's going on around her.
She has. A few balls have dropped in there, and she has been very, very composed. Again, she's been like that all season. I see Gráinne Keneally on the field there as well. I'm just trying to see who she could be on for.
Yeah, that's why I hesitated for a moment, because it looked like Gráinne Keneally, but I hadn't actually seen her come on. But Gráinne Keneally, number 21, is on the field to play for Kildare. We can tell you that. So Tommy will go through the process of elimination. We'll work out who's gone in just a few moments. Emma Jane Gerwin with the ball for Tyrone. What can she do? She gives the pass, and was never really on to her, to Maria Canavan. The Kildare player reading it very, very well, Eva Clifford. And now she's going to bring the ball up towards the 65-metre line. Lara Kern with possession pushes towards the 45. Nessa Dooley's inside of her, and all of a sudden Kildare have an opportunity to get another 2-point swing if this is on target. And Kildare put the ball over the bar on 24 minutes. And again, Tommy, it's a 2-point swing, the second we've seen consecutively. Kildare go 6-2 ahead.
Grace Clifford breaking that ball down the middle. Kildare attacking with pace. Lovely little pop pass to Nessa as well. And again, she's so confident in those positions. I'm pretty sure Ellen Dowling has gone off for Gráinne Keneally. That'd be interesting to see if Ellen maybe got a bang or something, because she'd be a very important cog in that forward line.
Yeah, that's why it was my surprise for a moment, even though it did look like Gráinne Keneally who was on, and I don't see any activity at the Kildare dugout to suggest it's temporary. So Gráinne Keneally is on for this match, as we understand. Lauren Murta wins the ball back for Kildare. They're really starting to turn over the ball a good bit. Roisin Byrne with possession. They know how important a home game is in a match like this. Into Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford outside the 45-metre line gives it to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan just got herself caught in two minds with the intention of that pass. And Tyrone, now can they turn this over and get a score out? This would be a massive lift for the Tyrone supporters if they can do this. Joanne Barrett sends the ball into space, but Leisha Linehan reading that again and gives it to Lauren Burke, who back to Mary Holgrain. And the Kildare defenders, like, you just have to really praise the way that they're reading this game and, you know, limiting Tyrone's options.
They really are, but at the same time, that was a poor ball in again. That ball needed to land in front of full forward runner now. She wants that ball coming up into her stomach. Leisha Linehan will mop those up all day.
Lauren Murta sending it in towards the attack, and Roisin Byrne has possession. Did you get the turn inside, just keeping control back to Lara Gilbert. Lara Gilbert out to Nessa Dooley, and this is Trina Duggan. Trina Duggan down the right, going to come inside. There's two defenders near her. She can offload the ball to Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley on the left peg. Well, look, you're just seeing an exhibition of what Kildare can do at the moment. It's really working out for them, and it's now 7 points to 2.
Nessa Dooley is like somebody that has a point to prove today. You know, she is absolutely taking everything on. She is fired up. I see her there. She's clenching her fist. She's pumping it at the sideline. You know, she's really up for this.
I mentioned she hadn't scored any points in the championship so far, but she scored 4 of them today to go with the 3 goals she got the first day, and doing very, very well. And Tyrone will be disappointed that they've let this become a 5-point ball game, especially when you look at some of the threats they were intending to do, but just couldn't find a way inside the Kildare rear guard as Eva Horace goes through. And the referee, Gus Chapman, always a smile on his face when he's making decisions, but likewise too, meticulous to the rules of the game and make sure the right decision is made every time. And he's going to have a quick chat here with Roisin Byrne. It's just a ticking, so he just tells her you're on in the book. It's going to be a free for Tyrone and Gráinne Rafferty. If there's a player that can inspire Tyrone, it's Gráinne Rafferty. She gives it to Caitlin Campbell. Caitlin Campbell comes inside, a rare bit of space in the Kildare defence. Can Tyrone make this count? Player at the left is Eva Horace. Eva Horace getting a bit closer, but a block down there. Brave defending. We're going to go back for a foul. That was committed, and it's a Tyrone opportunity, I'd say, for Gráinne Rafferty to try and get a much needed score.
Tyrone need to do that more. Again, even winning the free there, they decided to just drive at Kildare. If Kildare have this high block, there's only one way to run it, and it's either kick it over or run through it. If you run through it, there's a good chance you're going to get a free, and here we see another chance for them.
Kildare have gotten the last 4 scores of the game since Tyrone got their second point 9 minutes ago, so even just to settle things down is what Gráinne Rafferty will try and do. Mentioned Grania Rafferty was part of the team, along with Emma Hegarty, that beat Kildare 317 to 113 back in the 2014 All-Ireland Senior Championship. Grania with the kick, and she'll be disappointed with that. And that ball is going to go to the left and wide. It was an opportunity, Tommy, that they had to get.
They really did. In fairness, Kildare have tried to turn the screw in the last, coming up towards half-time now, and Kildare have had some really good attacks. Tyrone needed that score. Could find Maria Canavan getting onto those frees if things don't go too well for Grania Rafferty.
Well, we have a referee a stop play there at the moment as he sent Caitlin Campbell over to the line now. Not quite sure exactly what that was for. If it's just some attention or a bit of blood, we'll keep an eye on that. And nobody seems to be going to help her, so I'm not too sure if anything happened off the ball there, Tommy. But we'll follow that for a moment and see what's going on. But we'll watch the action on the field of play first. Trina Duggan with possession inside her own 45-metre line. Can't afford to dilly-dally with it, and she doesn't. And I accidentally hit a spectator in front of me here, so my apologies with that. Leisha Lenihan with the ball out towards the left-hand side of the field, and Kildare will bring it up towards the 45-metre line. And this is Lauren Murta with possession. And Lauren Murta just turns on the afterburners again, goes to the one. Look at the pace of Lauren Murta. Noel follows the jockey, gives the pass off, and now it's in the direction of Ruth Sargent. Ruth Sargent outside the ball to Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne back to Ruth Sargent. Big opportunity here for Kildare. Goes for the shot. All comes off the upright. We were getting ready to mark down the score. We thought she might have gone for a goal. We thought she was going wise with the point. Got nothing out of it.
Didn't happen for Ruth Sargent, but might happen for Tyrone here. They're after breaking very quickly.
They're breaking through quickly as Eva Horace goes to the far side of the field. But again, a Kildare defender is stepping up and sends it down in the direction of Roisin Byrne. And Roisin Byrne coming out towards the 65-metre line gives it to the captain, Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford outside the 45 to Lara Gilbert. Lara Gilbert outside the D, back for Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan's going to go for a kick in the post. Are Kildare going to turn this over again? The umpire has a good look at it. Not to be on this occasion. That is the fourth wide of the game, and it must have been something to do with blood or a gum shield or something, because I can tell you that Caitlin Campbell is coming back in the field to play for Tyrone.
She is, and she is needed for Tyrone as well. Again, we're coming up to half time. More good work there by Ruth Sargent getting through. Ruth is getting more confident in the more game. She's a very young player. She's minor last year. She get more confident getting forward. I would have fancied her to put that over the bar that time. She'll be disappointed to come back off the bar.
She'll be disappointed not to get that score. I completely agree with you there, and that as we watch Tyrone with possession. Maeve Corrigan the far side of the field. Just 30 seconds of normal time remaining in the first half. We don't have the countdown clock here, so it'll all be the discretion of the Sligo official Gus Chapman how much injury time we will play. We've had a couple of stops in the game, so there might be a couple of minutes in it. Lara Kern with the ball for Kildare. Can they do more damage before half time? The hands are out for the foul on Claire Sullivan. You heard somebody there in the crowd calling for the referee. Grace Clifford with the ball gives the pass back to Roisin Byrne, and Roisin Byrne will give it to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan forward to Nessa Dooley, and Nessa Dooley trying to turn inside. Two players collided. The referee is going to stop it for the collision, and we apologise for any language you might have heard in the background there, but the two players colliding in with each other, just stopping the action as we check on the Tyrone player.
Exactly, he has to stop it. He knows that himself. Kildare will be disappointed as they were breaking forward. It looked like a nasty little collision as well off the ball. These things happen as well when teams break at pace like that and pop the ball around. Kildare really trying to build up and try to get another point in before half time to build up that lead.
Yeah, the referee just letting Kildare know there now there's no foul, so they'll get to restart the action. I'm just trying to double check is not Grania Rafferty, and I'm just trying to double check the Tyrone player that has on the ground at the moment. So we'll confirm the identity in just a moment as we play nearly 1 minute of injury time. Play will restart with an indirect free for Nessa Dooley, but the Tyrone player thankfully is on her feet, and I think it's Emer Quinn that is on her feet there. Just be checked, is she okay? Indeed, it was Emer Quinn, won an Ulster title back in 2016. She's fit to continue, and Nessa Dooley will kick the ball back for Lara Gilbert. Lara Gilbert outside the 45-metre line, looking around, gives it back to Nessa. Nessa scored 4 points in play in this match already. She wants to go for the drive for 5 maybe on her own personal account, but Trina Duggan will give it back to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford being pushed up towards the 65-metre line. Ruth Sargent is there to help out, gives it to Lara Gilbert. Lara Gilbert on the 45, looking around for options, has lost control of the ball, but back to Grace. Grace Clifford out to the left to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan just had to pull back a bit, in Tyrone getting themselves organised. 13 players back, making this difficult for Kildare, but the referee has blown the half-time whistle, and a half-time where Kildare definitely the better team, built up with 3 points to one lead, but 4 unanswered has given them a 5-point advantage. Tommy O'Connell, your overall thoughts on the first half?
Kildare will be happy to be ahead with 5 points. They probably should be a little bit more ahead for the possession they've had and for the overall play. Tyrone had a couple of frees that they missed, but Tyrone, the thing about Tyrone is when they went forward and they tried to break through that line, they're either winning a free or they were getting through. As the game went on, Tyrone have dropped deeper and deeper, and now they're finding it harder even to get across that 45, let alone get in towards the Kildare goals. Kildare have took the chances when they've come along. I see the Kildare wing backs are really, really prominent in the game. Lauren Murta there and Lara Gilbert have pushed up. They're supporting the forwards, so it's not all about them going up there as well. What Tyrone need to do is need to get Gráinne Rafferty on the ball. We see this year she's a fantastic playmaker. That's what she does. She gets the ball, she's cool, calm and collected. She'll spread it around, she'll find the right players. She's not getting on the ball enough.
She's not getting on the ball enough, and Tyrone, despite 2 poor wides, are not creating enough scoring opportunities. The Kildare defence deserve credit for that, as does Nessa Dooley, the other side of the field, whose scores have been important. Kildare hold a 5-point advantage. We're going to have some highlights coming up for you now, and we'll take a break for 5-10 minutes from our live commentary as the young players from the various clubs across Kildare get a chance to show their skills and how the future in the county is bright. We'll be back for live coverage in the second half of this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Championship quarter-final. But at half-time, if you're a Kildare supporter, you'll be happy because your team lead by 5. The half-time score here in Mangard Plus, it's Kildare 7 points, Tyrone 2. Afternoon, thank you very much and welcome back here to Manguard Plus, the Kildare Centre of Excellence just outside Newbridge. It's half time in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter final. Kildare in front by 7 points to 2. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Tommy O'Connell. But Tommy, we were just enjoying the exhibition of underage football here at half time, and the parents so involved in cheering on the children as well. And this, you were saying to me as well, is what's important for all counties should be doing for their home games, to encourage players and develop the future and make the sport even bigger.
It was so enjoyable at half time. Kids from Kill, Clane and Stratford here in Kildare, and they put on an absolute show. I mean, it was great. It was great to watch. The skills on show. They're all laughing and joking. Everybody in the crowd was enjoying it. It's so important at that grassroots level to get the kids involved, but also to get the parents involved. You know, to come down and cheer them on, support the girls, make them see their hero, get them to see their heroes. They want to play football for Kildare. You know, it was fantastic to see, and the crowd here is fantastic. I took a walk around. My God, I haven't seen a crowd like this in Hawkfield in a long time.
Yeah, there's very few space available. Our side of the field, there's gaps at the far side, but often not attended because people have to walk that far. But thankfully, they are all here enjoying the action. And at half time, it's Kildare 7 points, Tyrone 2. As you can see, the Tyrone team coming back on the field to play for the second half. Just to give you an update on the other games, so we hope you stay with us here for the second half of this. Clare 3-5, Westmeath 3-5. Westmeath with 3 quick goals get themselves back in that match. 1-6 apiece between Wexford and Leitrim. We'll be keeping an eye on that here in particular because the winners of that game plays the winners here. Antrim in good form, Tommy. They lead Monaghan by 3-3 to no score.
Antrim at the moment are up there with Kildare as the team of the year, unbeaten all year, playing some absolutely scintillating football. As you say, we're keeping an eye on Leitrim versus Wexford. A lady was just asking me in front here what the score was, and I was saying it was all square at half time. The winner of this game plays against Leitrim or Wexford. Leitrim are afraid of nobody.
They're afraid of nobody and they'll give it a go. Remember, we have to have a result in all the games. There will be extra time if required. We are on for the second half of this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter-final, and Kildare in front by 5. Roisin Byrne with the ball, trying to get within range. Took a tip off a Tyrone defender into the hands of the goalkeeper, Sinead McFay. And Sinead McFay finds support and they move the ball out towards the right flank. Tyrone attacking the goal to the right for this second half. Emma Hegarty's a player that Tyrone will need to get them back into this, but she's giving the ball away to Lauren Murta, and Lauren Murta to Aoife Radigan. And one thing I want to say about Aoife Radigan is we talked about the underage players. She does an awful lot of underage refereeing in Kildare as well, giving back to the game as well as playing the match that she loves. And Kildare have the ball on the 45-metre line. Back out to Lauren Murta, just hung there for a moment as Joanne Barrett was putting in the challenge. This is good for Kildare. This is Roisin Byrne. She hasn't scored from play yet. She has now, and Roisin Byrne puts the ball over the bar. 55 seconds into the second half, 8 points to 2.
And Tyrone had such a good opportunity there to make it up the field, and they were trying to use their pace going along. But Lauren Murta, the pace Lauren showed, and to get the hand in, and have to be so careful in ladies football as well because of the no physicality. She got the hand in, turned over the ball. Kildare get a point.
Lauren Murta's really stood out too in regards to her running at the Tyrone defence in this game. As I mentioned, 8 points to 2. Roisin Byrne's first from play. She got 2 frees already, 3 points in total. Aoife Radigan with a point 2 for Kildare, and 4 from play for Nessa Dooley. Tyrone have not scored from play in this match yet. Marie Canavan and Grania Rafferty with frees in the first half. I get Tommy's thoughts on that in a moment. Let's see, could they get something out of this first, as Emma Hegarty sends it down to Sasha Byrne, and she did lose out the challenge even if Leisha Linehan had to turn around. Aoife Clifford with possession and sends the ball across, and Kildare deal with that danger again, and Leisha Linehan out towards Aoife Radigan, and this is good from Kildare again, attacking from the back. Grania Keneally with possession. She came on the first half. We missed her coming on, but she's on the field now. Lara Gilbert out towards Lara Kern, and now it's Grace Clifford. Leisha Linehan was involved in that move as well, but Trina Duggan will hold us outside the 65-metre line as Claire Sullivan pushes forward, and you can see Kildare, they're just waiting for the time to exploit the gap, seeking Roisin Byrne get in front of a player, and that's what Roisin Byrne has done here at the moment as she holds the ball on the left flank. That's a good pass over Trina Duggan. Trina Duggan, can she get the bit of space for the shot? 3 Tyrone defenders around her, and Joanne Barrett the fourth gets the touch, but the foul was committed, and Kildare are going to get a score. But Tommy, as we keep an eye for Roisin Byrne, you would imagine it'll be her 4th score of the game. Even when I was looking at the stats there, and we commented before half time about the lack of scoring opportunities Tyrone developed, I was still surprised coming into this match to say Tyrone have not scored from play on 33 minutes.
And Kildare have shut them down. I just see Leisha Lenihan again, the way she read that ball. You mentioned it in the first half. The ball was played over the top into Sasha Byrne, and that's who they want to get the ball to Sasha. Leisha is just reading the ball, which is absolutely brilliant from her, and that's what she needs to do. Just over the bar from Roisin.
Yeah, well, just over the bar, 3 minutes gone. Roisin Byrne makes it 9 points to 2, and there's a bit of a gap between these two teams now, and Tyrone need to find a way to get themselves back going in this contest if they're going to make an All-Ireland semi-final. As I mentioned, they lost out the quarter-final last year to Wexford 3-14 to 3-9. They were playing senior football the previous few seasons, went down the group stages in 2020 and 2021, did make the knockout stages in 2019, knocked out Donegal on the course of reaching the final 8 on that particular year, suffered a heavy defeat to Cork on that occasion, but just goes to show when Tyrone do get themselves together, they can beat. And of course, as I mentioned that as well, we might be talking 13 years ago, but Tyrone were the one team to beat that great Cork side from 2005 to 2016 during a championship season when they beat them in a quarter-final in Banagher back in 13 years ago. Grania Rafferty with possession, tries to find a way inside, just gets blocked down but has a teammate, and Tyrone queuing this up here, and maybe Emma Hegarty will have a chance. Just got closed out back to Maria Canavan. Maria Canavan with a kick in towards the goal, and Mary Hulgrain happy enough to let that bounce out to the right and wide. 3 wides for Tyrone, 4 for Kildare.
Maria Canavan was right to take it on. I mean, this is it. Tyrone needs scores, as you said. They haven't scored from play yet. Maria Canavan actually hasn't got on the ball a lot. They should be looking for her now as well. I mentioned as well, coming up to half time, that Grania Rafferty needs to get on the ball. These are big players, need to start standing up, but they need to get the right ball coming into them.
And even that's a good point as well, because they're trying to get Sasha Byrne involved. Looks like Maria Canavan is pushed up again for a little bit, but like we've talked about Grania Hegarty, we've talked about, or Grania Rafferty, sorry, we've talked about Emma Hegarty, we've talked about A.V. McHugh. Now she's tried to run at them a few occasions as well, but none of them really standing out, losing their direct one-on-ones, let alone trying to impact the team.
And now you said it exactly. You see Claire Sullivan breaking through the middle here up to Roisin.
Roisin Byrne with possession of the ball there, but she turned to the left. No, she gives it to Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley coming inside, an opportunity for Kildare to pass for Lara Gard. Got to go to the last day. Great save from Sinead McVeigh. An important save from the Tyrone goalkeeper, and one that they needed. It's going to be a free out for Tyrone, but Kildare carved open the Tyrone defence, and Sinead McVeigh, who's definitely going to be in the conversation, we are best Tyrone player in this match, pulled off a very, very brave and vital stop.
What a save from Sinead McVeigh. In fairness, that could have been curtains. That was it. No, what a save to keep her, and to immediately win the free out, and now Tyrone are on the attack. That could spur them on.
If ever there was a time for Tyrone to pick up a big score for the travelling support here in Mangard Park, this is the occasion there now as we look at Niamh Hughes, the number 23, moving down towards the 20-metre line. She's gained a good bit of ground, but Grania Keneally is sticking with her. Niamh Hughes nearly got inside, but Lauren Burke was there as well. She'll need support, but can't get the pass off for Emma Jane Gerwin. Does find Sasha Byrne, but the referee had the hand out there and says it's going to be, but he is to get a free out for Kildare, and Grace Clifford will restart the action. And again, these are the things that have been happening with Tyrone. They just fall short in that final line.
Exactly, but Grania Keneally showing all her experience there. She could have easily given away a foul. The player was leaning back into her. A lot of times you see those fouls given, the arms are high. Grania just stood her ground, turned the ball over, and Kildare win a free. Brilliant defence from Grania Keneally. Kildare
win a free. Now they're on the counter attack through Larry Gilbert as she goes inside the 45-metre line, looking for options for support. Grania Keneally is there, takes the pass back to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford will go up towards the 45-metre line, being marked tightly by Maeve Corrigan, but she gets the kick inside, and every time Kildare's in the kick inside, it seems to find Roisin Byrne, and finds Aoife Radigan shot. Another great save of McVeigh. They rebound the shot. A goal! A goal for Kildare, and Aoife Radigan puts the ball to the back of the net. Surely that's it for Kildare now, and Aoife Radigan puts them 10 points clear.
Sinead McVeigh, if you would genuinely have to sympathise with her. What a save again. She's devastated down there on the ground at the moment. What a save, point blank again to keep her team in it, and she just couldn't help to follow up. We saw the ball go through the netting. I wasn't sure whether it was in or not till we saw the green flag going up. People in Hogfield or Mangard Park might want to have a look at that. Massive moment for Kildare, and a huge moment for Tyrone as well, who had the initiative up front after turning the ball over in the previous 2 plays, and then they just could not make it count. Kildare break at pace down the far end, scored a goal.
And of course, Tommy, as we just look at Sinead McVeigh, and hopefully she's okay, because she's been absolutely superb. Has the fan of the TV programme Friends, she wants to see a reboot come, not just a reunion that we had a couple of years ago, and she's playing out here with her friends today. But the key difference, at least from my eye looking at this, is that when Tyrone send the ball in towards the attack. The Kildare defender is out straight away. Some of our Kildare supporters enjoyed that talk there about Monica, Rachel, Phoebe, Chandler, Joey and Ross. I think I got them right. But at the other end of the field of play, Roisin Byrne is first out every time for the ball.
She's first for every ball. It's the quality of ball going into her as well. We saw Grace Clifford breaking through the middle. Grace used her strength to push off the attacker coming towards her and play a lovely ball into Roisin, and Roisin just reads those balls so well, gets out in front of the defence. Go on now, Daz, give us a few more lines.
Roisin Byrne was just saying to the Kildare supporters, I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour, and hopefully the rain stays away for the remainder of this game. Thankfully, Sinead McVeigh is back in the field of play. Of course, we have seen many a turnaround in football, in ladies football as well, so even though it's looking like the Kildare are going to book their place into the All-Ireland Championship semi-finals, there's still plenty of football, 22 minutes plus injury time to take place inside the 45 metre line, and Tyrone know now they need to get the next score of this game. They didn't respond to the last score, they have to respond to this score, and Niamh Hughes with possession on the 65 metre line lays the pass off. They get a bit closer there as the ball is laid off again, and this is out to Joanne Barrett. Joanne Barrett giving it back to Avian McHugh. She started this particular sequence of play, but again a little hand in. It might be Nessa Julie, it might be Leisha Linehan, but the Kildare hand getting in every time just to break up the momentum of that Tyrone attack, and Grace Clifford is back to change the direction, and this is what Kildare have been doing, not just in this particular game, they've been doing superbly all year. They were going for 11 wins in a row. Their number 11 is Nessa Julie, gives it to Lauren Murta. Lauren Murta is a player inside, goes for Roisin Byrne, mightn't be the right option, it might work out nonetheless. Roisin Byrne with the shot, that ball goes to the right and wide, first wide off the half for Kildare. I thought Lauren might have backed herself there.
Kildare are playing fantastic football. They're defending, not only are they defending well, they're getting the breaks. Like, see, Leisha Linehan is just clearing up, but it's, as you say, it's a different girl, is getting a different hand in, a different stage. They're breaking at pace. Roisin will be disappointed with that, but again, lightning fast in attack.
Lightning fast in attack, and that's the difference. And again, you can see Tyrone are the head starting to drop. We certainly hope not if you're a Tyrone supporter, but Aoife Radigan has the ball for Kildare, and she's moving it down the right. Gráinne Keneally is there to help her out as well, and she gives it to Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford always seems to be the third player in any of these moves, and she just changed the direction again, moving it around, gives it to Lara Kern. Lara Kern on the 45 metre line, and it's back to Aoife Radigan, and Aoife Radigan will hold it up. Kildare are playing this game on their own terms. This is the way they wanted to do it. Grace Clifford with a kick inside. Who's to the front again? There's also Bryson for guessing. It's Roisin Byrne. She's trying to get inside as a player there. The referee says too many steps against her. It's going to be a free out for Tyrone. A break, you could argue Tyrone needed.
A break Tyrone needed. Roisin, her quick turn there, as soon as she got the ball in the hands, she turned so sharply. She was down on goal, probably a little bit harsh, but again, Tyrone need all these breaks. Tyrone needs something to happen. Let's not forget, Tyrone, with 10 minutes to go against Clare, I think we're about 6 or 8 points down and come back and get a draw. Tyrone won't give up.
Tyrone won't give up, and you just feel that one score could spark them into life, and we know how dangerous Sean O'Kane's team can be when they do get themselves going. The reason there's a hold up is Tyrone are making a substitution. Emma Hegarty is going off the field of play, and Tommy, as we just keep an eye out to confirm the player that has come on, it probably sums up Tyrone's afternoon where they're taking off one of their spiritual leaders in the likes of Emma Hegarty.
Exactly, and it just wasn't working again. The Kildare just haven't stopped. They would have identified her from the very start. They're gathering around looking for any loose ball. Tyrone just can't pick up any of this loose ball. There's a good kick again. But again, Kildare just win that 50-50 ball in the air. Kildare winning all of these 50. Tyrone just cannot get a break.
Maeve Mallon, the number 30, is the player that's come on for Tyrone. She's playing in a two-player inside line as they push up there. That might allow Sacha Byrne to come out the field of play, but I'm just looking around for Sacha Byrne. I haven't spotted her at the moment. We'll go back to that in a bit. We'll watch Kildare as they turn the ball over again and bringing it down the field of play past the 65 metre line. And this again is Lauren Murta to Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford with possession, looking around for options. It's back for Claire Sullivan, and Claire Sullivan will hold this up on the 65 metre line, and Tyrone are having to bring bodies back to get involved, which is not what they want to do. Lauren Murta on the move towards the 45, drops it, but it doesn't matter, picks it up again, back gives it to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan outside the 45 metre line across to Ruth Sargent, and Ruth Sargent now will put the head down and move towards the 45. Again the kick, the tactic in towards Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with possession and pass inside. This is an opportunity for Ruth Sargent to finish it off. Another save from Sinead McVeigh. Well, they certainly You can't argue that the goalkeeper for Tyrone has done everything she can to keep her team in that 3 fantastic saves. Even if she eventually got cut out for the second, it remains 1-9 to 2 points.
Unbelievable again, and again, Ruth Sargent has a knack at getting a couple of goals this year since she broke onto the team, but it just fell on her wrong side there. She would have preferred maybe to come across on her right. Tyrone on the attack now.
Eva Horace down the right there. Has she enough space to get this shot across? It's gone over the bar. It's Tyrone's first score from play in this match. It came on 43 minutes. Eva Horace with the score to make it 1-9 to 3 points. But Tommy, I was just looking around there as well. Eva McGann, who didn't start wearing number 15, is on the field of play. Tyrone have also taken off Sasha Byrne.
Yeah, Sasha Byrne, in fairness to Leisha Lenihan, Leisha gave Sasha absolutely nothing up there. As a target woman inside, she would have expected a lot of ball, but she just didn't get it. That score for Tyrone was badly needed, and it was a lovely score.
It's their first score from play in the match. It's taken 43 minutes to come, but they have to add more to it. And Kildare are going to go straight down the field and try and see can they threaten again, because this is Trina Duggan. Roisin Byrne trying to decide left or right, goes to the right. Grania Keneally's inside. You can hear someone saying, look at Grania, but Sinead McVeigh reading it very, very well. Wins the ball for Tyrone and gives it out to Joanne Barrett, who'll kick it forward towards the 45-metre line. But you just feel, and of course we have a lot of Kildare supporters around us in the commentary box too, but you just feel every time a ball goes down anywhere near Roisin Byrne country, a goal is on the way. They have created so many goal chances in the second half alone.
Daz, this game is opening. This game is opening up big time. There's a lot of space. Tyrone have had to do something. You see Tyrone have pushed right up the field, but that's leaving massive gaps in the back as well. But again, Tyrone need to do something. But Kildare can break at pace, and there's ball there in behind that Kildare can just lap up.
Kildare are playing with confidence. There's a challenge on Aoife Clifford there, and looks like we're going to have a free. The referee just having a quick chat with Maria Canavan there on that. Not happy with the decision, and a tick in the book for that. We'll have a quick skim around in a moment to see what's happening in the other games, but this looks like Lara Kern, she'll probably be leaving it off for her teammate to take the free, and Roisin Byrne will have a pop at the post there, Tommy.
Again, just before this happened again, Tyrone in the Tyrone attack, Leisha Lenihan again. She's I don't know how many interceptions she's put in today. She's so good at reading the game, and again there a couple of minutes ago she was brilliant over on the far side.
We can tell you Wexford has scored a second goal in their game against Leitrim. It's Wexford 2-7, Leitrim 1-7. Roisin Byrne with the kick into the hands of the goalkeeper Sinead McVeigh. Maeve Corrigan was there to help out for Tyrone, and she finds a teammate. That teammate is Quiva McGee, but led in from the front. However, play continues on, and it's out towards Joanne Barrett on the right hand side, and she gives it to the captain Aoife McHugh. Can Tyrone get another couple of scores? Can they make a match out of this? Anything is possible in ladies football. We've seen many examples over the years, many examples even today with the way Westmeath came back from well down to get level with Clare at half time, and as Tommy mentioned, Tyrone did it against Clare in their group game 2 weeks ago. Emma Jane Girvan scored 2 goals that day. She just got closed off with the ball after the pass from Aoife McHugh, and Kildare go on the counter attack again. This is Lauren Burke on the 65-metre line, holds it up for Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford will send it out towards the right towards Trina Duggan, and Trina Duggan will go past the 65-metre line, and again it's Grania Keneally doing the running here now, and Grania Keneally comes out beating the marker every time. Is the Kildare forward Trina Duggan there to help out and gives it to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford now looking for the options there as to Tyrone getting themselves organised in defence. They know they can't concede any more scores in the near future. They have to try and make some form of inroads into the 9-point deficit. They'll need, you would feel, at least 1 goal in that, probably 2. Lauren Murtado for Kildare has the ball, kicks it inside for Roisin Byrne and Nessa Dooley. Nessa hasn't got a goal in this game yet. Nessa Dooley gets inside the pass for Lauren Murta, and she just got underneath the ball, puts it over the bar. Another fantastic score, 110 to 3 points.
Sinead McVeigh got a hand on that again. She really is something else. Very unselfish work from Nessa Dooley as well. We know how good she is as goal poacher. Lovely little pass inside. Sinead McVeigh got the hand up again. She has been absolutely brilliant. That score was needed for Kildare. You know, they hadn't scored in a while. They had lost a few different wides, losing a bit of possession. The game had become very open and scrappy, and Diana Hora wouldn't want to see that either. She wants to see them keeping their control, keeping their structure, and just seeing out this game if they can.
I think the one thing that she will be happy about, I just check another latest score. It's Antrim 3-4 Monaghan 6 points. We'll get the other game for you in just a moment. Is that, as you mentioned there, Nessa Dooley, normally in a situation like this, players get selfish. It's their instinct. They just want to get the scores, but she didn't. She played it to the player in the better position, and brave goalkeeping denied the goal. She
played the right pass again. It just shows you Nessa's been clued in all day. She really has. She's played the game really well, like, as a little playmaker there in the half forward line. You know, not only her scores, her overall play has been brilliant.
Kildare lead this game by 10 points. It's Kildare 110, Tyrone 3 points. We look at the clock and it says 13 minutes to go, and the window of opportunity for Tyrone to get back in this game is getting smaller with every pass that Kildare do with possession of the ball, as Grace Clifford sends it out the far side of the field, but Trina Duggan just couldn't keep it in play there at the moment, and Tyrone will restart the action. They've made the changes, but who can take this by the scruff of the neck? One goal for Tyrone, Tommy, will make this final stages very interesting.
It will, of course, and Tyrone know themselves. That's what you can see. Tyrone are absolutely flooding forward because they know themselves. This is their year. This last few minutes are their year, and if they can get a goal, if they can just get attack, put that doubt into the Kildare minds, they need to start attacking.
Clare are leading Westmeath by 3-11 to 3-7. That's your quarter-final update here. We are, of course, at Kildare against Tyrone in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship quarter-final, brought to you in association with Stream Sport on the LGFA streaming service, where you can get access to any game that's not live on TG4. TG4, of course, the sponsors of the competition. Neeview sends the ball out towards the left flank as Tyrone try and see can they unlock this Kildare defence that have proved elusive over the 3/4 of an hour plus that we've seen in this game so far. But again, Kildare get a hand, they get a boot. Any little touch is enough, and Eva Rattigan passes it out to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford again will just hold it up, wait for the player, wait to start the move, and Ruth Sargent is in the middle of the park, came close to a goal herself. Inside the 65-metre line, the two number 6s are going to meet up, but the Kildare number 6 wins to Lara Kern. She came close as well, out to Grania Keneally, and Grania Keneally using her experience, whether it was with Kildare, whether it was at Longford, just enough there. Maybe the experience betrayed her on that occasion as she's given the ball away. The commentator Hex put on her, and Grania Rafferty knows this could be a chance to make something happen. Eva Horsk with a pass forward, and this is Avie McHugh. Avie McHugh at the inside line, and again, who's out to receive it? Kildare out to receive it. Eva Clifford is out to receive it, and the ball is turned over again. Trina Duggan to Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford on the 45-metre line, just bringing it forward, looking for options, and Grace is just going to go herself this time. Why not? And Roisin Byrne, they're just waiting for Roisin to get moving, and Roisin moves to the corner ahead of Quiva McGee, and Roisin Byrne is going to try and come inside, keeps the ball in play, has an option inside as to watch the steps, gives it to Lara Kern. Lara Kern on the left, back to Roisin Byrne, and the referee is going back for a foul that was committed. He did give them enough time to try and make that happen. Expected another Kildare score here.
But you're right, they're looking for Roisin every time. Roisin's movement, if Roisin can get out in front of her marker, which she's doing every time, she's so strong, and once she gets the ball in, she's only one place she's going, towards the goals. Grace Clifford again driving at them, good foot pass into the corner, as you said in your commentary, looking for Roisin every time. To lead up to that, miserly defence again by Kildare, absolutely turning the ball over, not even giving Tyrone a shot.
Roisin Byrne puts that free over the bar to make it 1-11 to 3 points. But Tommy even taking that point, and Quiva McGee has chased Roisin Byrne around the field over the course of the game. But surely Tyrone, it was not happening for one player, not leaving the player there to be slaughtered. Surely they have another option to try and curtail. We've seen teams curtail Roisin Byrne. Why haven't Tyrone dealt with this?
We saw Louth do it last week. A switch happened early, or 2 weeks ago. A switch happened early in that Louth game, and Roisin was kept relatively quiet for that game for her standards, and that came from a switch. So, as you say, you would be surprised that switch hasn't happened yet.
Jane Lyons with possession for Tyrone inside the 45-metre line, laid it off to Maeve Mallon, and Maeve Mallon has won the free, kicks it out towards the right to Aoife Horsk. Aoife Horsk moving down towards the scoring zone, and there is Lauren Murta up and down the field all day, never stopping, back to Jane Lyons, and Jane Lyons with a pass inside there now for Caitlin Campbell. Caitlin Campbell to Jane Lyons. Tyrone holding on to the ball, but it just can't seem to find a way to break through, and it's now with Grania Rafferty, and the space is closing down. Grace Clifford there as well, good kick inside there. Sometimes you have to take a gamble, and it might work out here. It might work out for Aoife McGahan. She was thinking about the goal, there's no doubt about that. Puts it over the bar. Great ball in from Grania Rafferty. Risks that Tyrone have to make.
Now you said it, what a ball in, that really was, and that wasn't just a shot to nothing. She saw the space inside, it was well won. Mary Hulgrave will have to be on her toes there, because I said if a goal goes in there, we more than likely have in around 10 minutes left as well, with whatever's going to be added on. As you say, we don't have the stop clock here. A goal there could have really spurred Tyrone on.
Yeah, I imagine about 2 minutes based on, we had to stop for Sinead McVeigh as the kind of the one real standout stop in the half. Mary Hulgrain open to play in All-Ireland semi-final in 2 weeks' time. It's looking good for her. She gives it to Claire Sullivan, and Claire Sullivan involves Leisha Linehan, and all of a sudden now we're moving down the left flank with Kildare. Nessa Dooley, who got 4 points in play in the opening half, has been doing a lot of work during the second period. Kicks it into space. Kildare just finding their players that bit easier, and we do apologise to Tyrone supporters who are watching us here because it feels like we're talking so much about Kildare, but that is really what is happening here in front of us. Claire Sullivan with a pass inside to Lara Kern. Lara Kern, there's another Tyrone substitute on there, Emma Lone, wearing number 19. She got a little touch there to disrupt Kildare briefly as it was. Roisin Byrne again back to Grania Keneally. Aoibhinn McHugh takes possession. Now Tyrone, can they get down? They haven't managed 2 scores in a row in this game so far. A kick by Grania Rafferty, but it just went away from Eva McGann, turning on the left. In fairness to the Tyrone number 15, she was doing exactly what we've seen the Kildare number 14 doing over the course of the game, and the ball just curved in behind her on that occasion. Lauren Murta with the move. Little team of the year, that was the league in 2021. Gives it to Lara Kern. Back to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan inside the 45-metre line, getting closer towards the goal. Gives it to Lauren Murta again. Back to Aoife Radigan. She's got one already. Decides to kick it over on that occasion, but the Tyrone defence were again carved open. 112 to 4 points, Tommy.
That attack was all about the pace of Lauren Murta and the power of Aoife Ratigan. You know, Aoife doing so well come through, and one pass when they need the pass. Lauren Murta could have took that shot on herself, saw the better pass inside to Aoife, who could have took a shot on. She was dead right. Stick it over the bar, keep that scoreboard ticking over for Kildare. At
half time, it looked like the player of the match was nailed down, but there's so many contenders, especially in white, in the second half, and one goalkeeper in black as well. Roisin Byrne with the ball goes for the kick, and the umpire says not to be on that occasion. Tommy will be making that selection in about 2 or 3 minutes time. I'll give him a chance to be running through the players that have impressed him with both teams, but I certainly know I'm glad I'm not picking it because so many have put their hand up in this game today. Sinead McFay will be getting ready to restart the action, and I think we have a hold up for a substitution. I think Trina Duggan is going off the field of play, and you can hear the appreciation for the efforts of Trina Duggan over the course of this game. And I'll just double check, I think it is Mia Doherty is the player that has come on for Kildare, and she'll see out the last 6 minutes plus injury time as Tyrone's number 6 Caitlin Campbell brings the ball up the field, and they'll try and launch another attack. Tyrone wants to give their supporters a goal at least to go home with after they making the trip down here to just outside Newbridge. Jane Lyons trying to get inside, trying to take on Claire Sullivan. Lauren Murta, the discipline as well. The foul might have been committed. It looks like it's going to be a free in for Tyrone. They'll get an opportunity to get a score.
They will, and they need it as well. We're not there yet where they do need a goal, but we know they need a couple of goals as well. But they need to just keep attacking. They have to just keep attacking. If that means pushing players forward, as I said earlier, this is their year now. This is the end game. So as good as Kildare have been, Tyrone need to start doing something now. You know, nothing has really gone right for Tyrone today. We see a lot of balls, you know, popping out of hand. You know, trying to pick it up off the ground, it pops off the toe. She tried to play a short one. She tried to play a short one inside. As you're probably right, they needed a goal.
Well, they do need to get a goal to lift things up, but you can even see the concentration. Leisha Linehan there, and as a non-Kildare man who's been lucky enough to see Kildare numerous times, have to be impressed with their discipline here today, and not only the physical discipline, their reading, their patience of the game. You touched on that in the first half as well, and that is why they are going to be into an All-Ireland semi-final against Wexford or Leitrim. We'll get a check in that game again before the full-time whistle. Lauren Murta with possession, sends it down towards Grania Keneally. Grania Keneally often goes into the middle there to give Roisin Byrne a break, but again Kildare looking hungry. It's where they were 10 points down, but they're 10 in front, and Nessa Dooley just missing out on the opportunity as Tyrone get in and get the touch, and they'll bring it up towards Jane Lyons again, and Jane Lyons on the 65-metre line to Emma Lone. Emma Lone with possession gives it to Emma Jane Gerwin. She started the game very, very strongly, but has found that the midfield area has been a tough battle for them since. Niamh Hughes with the ball for Tyrone, a kick inside there, and again Kildare defenders not allowing the space to make it easy for Tyrone anyway. Grania Rafferty with the ball, and it's Aoife Clifford that takes possession and is going to send the ball out the field, and just a kick along the ground by Grania Keneally to Roisin Byrne, who's back inside her own 65-metre line. 3.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Kildare 112, Tyrone 4 points. Kildare on their way to an 11th consecutive competitive win in 2023, and they're moving towards the All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship semi-final, and I think, Tommy, they're just going to dictate the terms in these closing few minutes.
No need for Kildare to do absolutely anything panicky now. Just play around with the ball, make Tyrone come to them. As I said, Tyrone will be disappointed. They're probably frustrated at this stage because they can't get the ball back. Things could have went better for them on a different day, but Kildare have been so much in control of this game. The error count has been a lot less than the last day as well, which will please Diana Hora.
Leitrim's Leah Fox has scored a goal to bring it back to a 1-goal game. It's now Wexford 3-10, Leitrim 2-10. The winners of that game played the winners of this. We could have a Leinster final repeat unless Leitrim can find another score, and we know how dangerous the Connacht side are as Kildare make a few substitutions. The supporters on their feet to applaud Lauren Burke and Claire Sullivan, two other players that are going off there as well. Elaine Keogh is one of them that has come on the field to play, and the other one that I spot is Fiona Trout as well. And Kildare just taking the opportunity to give their bench a run out and keep their options open.
They're doing a well-deserved ovation there for Claire Sullivan as well, up and down the field all day. Some of the work she puts in is absolutely
just going to jump in there, but I think Roisin Byrne is also a player that's gone off the field to play, and I was thinking the supporters wanted to give her that opportunity. Holly Tyrrell is coming on the field to play for her as well, and I'm just watching Larry Gilbert. Is she running into position, or is she going off as well? She's certainly running towards the line as well. No, Larry's just getting in position, and we're going to start with a Kildare free taken by Grace Clifford.
The Kildare panel has been proven to be so strong all year as well. These girls are coming in now with a few minutes to go, and they all want to make an impression. You know, they've played a lot of football themselves already this year. Some have started, some coming off the bench. They need to make an impression. They want to make an impression. And
even Lara Kern wants to make an impression, even though she started the game not to be. That ball goes to the left and wide, just over a minute of normal time remaining. We'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll do the player of the match, as we'll see what Tyrone can do in this next attack as Jane Lyne sends it across, and back there to help out is Emma Lone. Emma Lone moved past the 45-metre line, gives it to Emma Jane Gervin, and Emma Jane Gervin with the pass off for Caoimhe McGee. Caoimhe McGee pushing forward for Tyrone, trying to get within range there, looking for an option. The free is given. We're going to go back for a free one by Caoimhe McGee, and Emma Jane Gervin will come up to take this as well. And can she put the ball over the bar or drop it in towards the house? Opts to send it out to the right to Niamh Hughes, and Niamh Hughes now with a pass out towards the left, and Tyrone getting closer through Eva Horrisk. Eva Horrisk sends it across, the ball nearly floated out. We're going back for a free for Tyrone, and Tyrone, you know, they're getting closer there, but still they're not going to get it easy.
They are. And things again, as the whole game haven't worked out for them. Even there, they just didn't get the ball dropping in front of their player. Things just haven't gone right for them at all. You would have hoped to see them putting this kind of not this kind of effort, I suppose isn't really fair, but putting this pressure on earlier in this half where they knew they needed to get scores, and they just haven't got enough of them.
No, they probably needed to do it at the start of the match too, like when there was a few opportunities happening. Grania Rafferty is going to take this free, and again, I don't know, she's teasing, dropping it down. The ball is hovering around the goal line. The umpire's having a good look in Kildare. The referee's giving a penalty for a player kneeling on the ball, is what he's suggesting. So it's going to be a penalty for Tyrone. So Tyrone might just give their supporters something fun to remember going home.
It could be for kneeling on the ball. It could be for having a knee on the ground while she touched the ball, which of course you can't do. Obviously you can pick the ball off the ground, ladies football, but you can't have your knees on the ground and pick up the ball. So I think that might have happened because there were a few bodies on the line.
Well, even you can hear the hunger of the Kildare supporters. They're getting behind their goalkeeper, Tyrone, getting behind Grania Rafferty, who scored one goal in the championship so far. She's about to finish this championship campaign with a second goal. Not happy with the ball, so we'll take our time and we'll go at this again. It's Kildare 112, Tyrone 4 points, and this for Tyrone to get their goal. And the silence there now for the number 11, the experienced campaigner with the shot. And if it's not your day, it's not your day. The ball does go over the bar. She does get a score, 112 to 5 points.
Again, that ball hit the back of the net against Clare. As you said, when it's your day, it's your day. It's not. It's not. She tried to stick it in the top corner as well. They got the point. Unfortunately, it's not enough. It would have been nice for Tyrone to get something at the end of the game like that.
Yeah, and even I think some neutrals here were hoping that they would dispatch that to the back of the net, and the Kildare supporters around us here were hoping that Mary Hulgrain would pull off the save. Neither being, it remains a 10-point ball game. Kildare 112, Tyrone 5 points. We have played over a minute of injury time. We reckon there'll be 2, possibly 3. Larry Gilbert with the ball back to the 45-metre line. Kildare on their way to the All-Ireland semi-final for the first time in 2 years. They played Westmeath on that occasion. They'll be playing Wexford or Leitrim this time. Hopefully we have the result of that game before we finish our broadcast here in Manguard Plus in association with Stream Sport on the LGFA streaming service. We'll keep an eye to see is there any further update. 90 seconds left, we're told, in that game. Wexford 3-10, Leitrim 2-10. That's the latest score. Ruth Sargent back to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford inside the 65-metre line will just take her time and decide what to do with this. And again, plenty of white jerseys. Eva McGahan is coming back for Tyrone to try and apply pressure. There's nobody from Tyrone within 40 yards of the opposing goal. They know the game is up for themselves, and Kildare are going through their own procession here now as Gráinne Keneally with the ball moves up towards the 65-metre line, back to Leisha Linehan. And Leisha Linehan, what a game she's had. Played for DCU this year. She said playing in Australia would be a dream. I think it would be a dream to be playing here in front of her own supporters on a day that Kildare, maybe not perfect, but certainly a 9 out of 10 performance you have to give them for the way they performed in this match. And in possession now is Fiona Trout, and this is just passing it away, Tommy, and winding down the clock.
This is all they need to do, as you said. It hasn't been perfect for Kildare, but they didn't need to be. As I said earlier as well, the error count has been down. That's what they need. They need to just stop making the individual errors. Football they've played today, honestly, it's probably the best I've seen Kildare play this year, and that includes the finals that they've won, the big performances they put on in the league. This has been controlled. It's been a mature performance. You know, the concentration levels, even now, a lot of movement going on. Really good performance.
The referee, Gus Chapman, has blown the final whistle. It's all over here in Manguard Plus, Kildare Centre of Excellence, and Kildare are through to the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship semi-finals. A dominant performance, without question. Well-deserving winners, 112 to 5 points. Tommy O'Connell, your overall thoughts?
I thought at the beginning we came in, we were looking forward to a close game. They're very evenly, very well matched teams. Nothing really went right for Tyrone, but it was Tyrone weren't allowed to get going. The Kildare full back line, a half back line up the field. When Tyrone did attack, the structure in the Kildare back line, the work from Leisha Linehan and from Ruth Sargent, Aoife Clifford, Lauren Burke, Lara Gilbert, Lauren Murta, you could name them all out. Lauren Murta as well, what she brought to the attack as well, and Lara Gilbert, starting the attacks for Kildare. Overall, just, as I said, a mature, controlled performance. Once Kildare realised they were the better team, they took control of this game and they played it on their terms. They didn't allow Tyrone start that counter-attack that brought them back into the game against Clare. I think Deanna Hoare is going to be very happy with today, more than previous days.
You did say there in the closing stages of the match too, probably Kildare's best performance this year, but even one thing I was thinking of, when Kildare won the opening game against Leitrim by 5-10 to 4-8, Diana Hoare straight away pinpointed the 4 goals. She wasn't going to rest in laurels of scoring 5-10. While Loud made things difficult at times the last day, Tyrone probably didn't as much as they could have or expected to have had in this game. But again, we're just lauding Kildare defenders with the way they approached the game and their concentration throughout.
Absolutely, and they didn't. Not only did they restrict the Tyrone to not having shots at goal, but even shots for points. Tyrone they weren't even allowed to get into the scoring zone, to get into those positions because of the defence. That high push, it must have been a nightmare. For the likes of Sasha Byrne, who got really good ball in the last couple of games she's playing. She's shown her ability. She was absolutely starved of possession today. Leisha Lennon mauled her for the whole half. She was always behind her, and then you had Aoife Clifford on her shoulder looking for the breaking ball. It must have been very frustrating for those Tyrone players, but listen, they've had a very good year. In their own terms, they've stayed in Division 2. They had a lot of injuries. They had to draft in 3 or 4 minors, I think, this year from the minor team last year to bulk up that Tyrone team because of the injuries. They stayed in Division 2 to meet Kildare in Division 2 next year as well, and they can move on and have a look at some of those minors that had a really good minor team a couple of years ago as well, and they'll be disappointed today. They made up a Kildare team absolutely at the top of their form. Things just didn't go right for them, but Kildare are the ones that move on.
No, but even touching that point, as we know, Tyrone will be knocking on the door and will be competitors again in next year's both Division 2 and the Intermediate Championship. But this is a deflating loss, and not just because they were beaten by 10 points. They were well beaten by 10 points. Like, we have to call it straight, and we're not trying to knock Tyrone here now, but if there was another 5 or 6 points between these teams, it would have been no surprise. And if you talk about the young players coming through, we saw Emma Hegarty going off today. Gráinne Rafferty as well gave everything she could to the cause. Other players just struggle to step up. There will be some soul searching among Tyrone over the course of the winter.
There will be. In fairness, the confidence levels would have been high coming down here. Like, they knew they had a big challenge ahead of them. You have to remember as well, like, they played their league football in Division 2. Now, there are a few intermediate teams in Division 2, but they played against high quality all year, and that includes that excellent Antrim team up the north as well, and they lost the Ulster final to. So they would have been coming here hoping that the experience of all those big games would have stood to them. Kildare had a plan today. They knew what they expect. Met a couple of the Kildares during the week, and they were under no illusions how good this Tyrone team was. You know, they were approaching it with full concentration, making sure to take the hand and rest and take their game plan in, and just play their own game at home in front of a big crowd. I'm absolutely delighted for the Kildare players and management today that everything worked out on the field. As for Tyrone, you can see them going off the field there now. They are going to be devastated, but there's so much good work going on in Tyrone at the moment. I'm sure they'll be back next year, and we'll see them next year from a Kildare point of view as well.
Just before we go to player of the match, which I never got around to doing, we were talking about, but results are coming in from around the country. We can confirm it's going to be Kildare against Wexford in the semi-final. Wexford have beaten Leitrim by 3-10 to 2-10. That is an official result. We'll just get your thoughts on that semi-final pair, and Tommy, in just a second. Before I do that, I just want to give Kildare have beaten Westmeath by 3-14 to 3-8. We haven't got a result in the other game yet, but Antrim were 13 points up. We'll try and get that before we finish up. But Kildare against Wexford, 2 weeks' time.
No strangers in fairness. They've met a couple of times this year. They met last year. I think at this stage Wexford are pretty sick of seeing Kildare, you know, but that's going to be a cracker. They owe them one. Kildare have beaten them in the league, beat them in the championship as well. And I think I could be wrong, but I think they've met 3 times this year. I think Kildare have won all 3. So you know, Wexford in one way they'll be kind of thinking not this crowd again, but at the same time, if I was the Wexford manager, I'd be thinking, good, Kildare, we owe them one big time. They put it up to them at times in Portlaoise as well. Kildare just pulled away at the end, but Wexford showed that they can get the measure of Kildare at certain times in Portlaoise. That's going to be a really good game.
It's going to be a really good game too, and even looking at the results, 110 to 6 points for Kildare in the league against Wexford, 212 to 1-8 in the Leinster final. Wexford, and we know, are good at making finals regardless of the odds. Regardless of being outsiders, Lizzie Kent will already be working on her game plan. No doubt Anna Hoare won't be far behind her.
Nope. And I was talking to a couple of people from Wexford after that game in Portlaoise, and you know, they were disappointed, but at the same time they said we are not as far away from Kildare as it's looked. Talking to supporters, different people involved with the ladies football in Wexford, and you know, I'd say now behind everything they are looking forward to a good crack at Kildare.
It's a game we're looking forward to in 2 weeks' time. Just a quick mention, Antrim, we know they're going to beat Monaghan. It was 5-6 to 8 points last we heard, so unless something major happens there, it's Antrim against Clare. Westmeath will be fancy by many at the start of the year, but Clare have stepped up, they got the job done, but it's a great opportunity for both counties, because the winners of that game obviously will be going to Croke Park.
No, you said it, and there again, two excellent teams. I've seen more of Clare this year than I've seen of Antrim. What I have seen of Antrim, they have been excellent all year. Undefeated in this calendar year, I think. Playing some unbelievable football. Strong, powerful team. You know, very similar to the Kildare setup. Clare basically had the Division 3 in their hands and ended up losing the Kildare. That was Kildare's biggest victory in the last few years. Winning that league final against Clare and then getting promoted. But that could have been Clare. 90 seconds, that swap over. Clare are a formidable team, and that's going to be another cracking semi-final. 2
games to really look forward to in 2 weeks' time. But before we finish up here our broadcast in Mangard plus Kildare Centre of Excellence, but I'll give you much more time to think about this as you planned. The players that impressed you from both teams, Tommy, and your overall LGFA player of the match.
Yeah, so from a Tyrone point of view, in fairness, from a difficult afternoon, the 2 midfielders, Avi McHugh and Emma Jane Garvin, they never stopped going. They tried to get things working. The same can be said for Jane Lyons in the half back line. She tried to break as much ball as she possibly could. It just never worked for them. Those 3 players, they never stopped. On another day, the ball could have went for them. It could have hopped into their hands. The ball going forward. Those are 2 very impressive midfielders. I'm looking forward to seeing them next year as well, in the Division 2 campaign. From a Kildare point of view, I mean, take your pick. It was such a good performance all over the field from Kildare. From the back line to forward line, we know how good Roisin Byrne is. She showed her power today and her positioning, the way she gets out in front of Nessa Dooley started the game on fire and never stopped going as well, right till the very end. But Nessa really showed, like, you know, what she can do there in the first half. Going down the field as well. Grace Clifford, Aoife Ratkin in the middle of the field. I mean, that's probably the best I've seen them play together for a long time. Grace is such a quarterback of a player. She gets the ball, she passes around in the full back line and the half back line. I mean, as good, like Lara Gilbert, Ruth Sargent, Lauren Murta, the half back line the last day were so good. Lauren Murta today was absolutely. Lauren Murta is it's very difficult for me to choose between Lauren and who I am going to give the player of the match to. I thought Lauren, her pace is absolutely spectacular, and her tackling, the way she wins the game. The same can be said for that full back line with Lauren, Leisha and Aoife, and they shut Tyrone down today. My player of the game has to go to Leisha Lenihan, the full back. I'm sure the Kildare LGFA stats people will be able to tell us how many turnovers she had, how many interceptions, the way she read the game. Sasha Byrne is an excellent full forward. Leisha Lenihan today focused on reading the ball, where the ball was going to land, how to get in front of her, and once she got the ball, her distribution was very, very good. Leisha Lenihan is my deserving player of the game.
I agree with you completely. Leisha Lenihan is the LGFA player of the match. That was the voice of Tommy O'Connell. Delighted and a pleasure it was, Tommy, to join yourself in the commentary box again. Our cameraman was John Murphy. I was Darren Kelly, and we hope you enjoyed our coverage here from Manguard Plus, Kildare Centre of Excellence, as Kildare put in arguably their best performance of the season. 14 wins out of 15. Actually, very, very quickly, if we don't mind, we're going to get a quick word with the Kildare captain, just very, very quickly, and then we'll just turn you to the camera there, Grace. And just sometimes things happen there, but I'm just going to ask you only 2 questions. I won't keep you long. Well done. What a performance into an All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, look, it's kind of hard to put it into words. We didn't really know what to expect coming today. We haven't played Tyrone in a number of years, so we kind of feel like we're playing the same kind of teams, you know what I mean? So to be preparing for someone new, and we're really excited actually, we're really looking forward to play in front of our home crowd. And look, at just everything we've been working over the last couple of weeks, it really came into fruition there, and I'm just so proud of the team. That's all I can say. And
we have to agree with that as well. As you mentioned, we're playing the same teams. We can confirm your semi-final against Wexford in 2 weeks' time. Your first thoughts?
Yeah, look, Wexford are tough. They never die. They're always a team at the end of the season. You know, no matter how the rest of their campaign goes, they're fabulous footballers. They know us well. We know them well. I can guarantee it'll be a cracker. So we look forward to it.
Well, Grace, thanks a million for joining us here in the commentary box. We know we caught you off the hop there. We're going to celebrate with family and all
thanks
that.
A million.
That was the Kildare captain, Grace Clifford, and I was just up there, happy with our team's performance as they make the All-Ireland semi-final, and Kildare the winners, deserving dominant winners in the end. And again, we look forward to the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate semi-finals in 2 weeks' time. The final score here in Manguard Park, Kildare by 10. It finished Kildare 112, Tyrone 5 points. She tries to take on Joanne Barrett, turns on her left, thought about the shot, needs support. Nessa Dooley's the player to provide that support. They can hear the Kildare in the direction of Lara Kern, and Lara gets the bounce in it. There has Nessa Dooley in front of her. Kildare getting in close to the goal. Opportunity for Nessa Dooley with the shot. Finishes control of the ball. Maeve Corrigan not making it easy, but there is Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling with a shot and a save from Sinead McVeigh. And now it's an opportunity for Roisin Byrne to get off the mark. 15 minutes gone. Roisin Byrne has scored 11 points in her 2 games in the championship. Make that 12 now as well. For Tyrone, this looks like the Gordon referee that's going to take that free, and Gordon referee puts the ball over the bar. Moving down the right, is there a player inside in the gap? Not to be. Roisin Byrne was looking at going in, but Aoife Radigan is going to go herself. We mentioned, and all of a sudden Kildare have an opportunity to get another 2 points make if this is on target. And Kildare put the ball over the bar. Inside is 2 defenders near her. She can offload the ball to Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley on the left peg. Well, look, you're just seeing this exhibition for a moment as Joanne Barrett was putting in the challenge. This is good for Kildare. This is Roisin Byrne. She hasn't scored from play yet. She has now. And Roisin Byrne puts the ball over the bar. 55 there, but she turns to the left. No, she gives it to Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley coming inside. An opportunity for Kildare to pass for Lara Kern. Got to go to the last day. Great save from Sinead McVeigh. Grace Clifford. And Grace Clifford will go up towards the 45-metre line, be marked tightly by Maeve Corrigan. But she gets the kick inside. And every time Kildare's in the kick inside, it seems to find Roisin Byrne. It finds Aoife Radigan shot. Another great save from McVeigh. They rebound the shot and goal! In towards Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with possession and pass inside. This is an opportunity for Ruth Sargent to finish it off. Another save! Another!
On the attack now.
Eva Horace down the right there. Has she enough space to get this shot across? It's gone over the bar. It's Tyrone's first score from play. Roisin Byrne to Nessa Dooley. Nessa hasn't got a goal in this game yet. Nessa Dooley gets inside the pass for Lauren Murta, and she just got underneath.
As you said, looking for Roisin. Lead up to that. Miserly defensive, absolutely turning the ball over, not even getting thrown.
Well, good kick inside, then we'll have to take a gamble, and it might work out here. It might work out for Aoife McGahan. She was thinking about the goal, there's no idea her line. getting closer towards the goal. Gives it to Lauren Murtigan, back to Eva Radigan. She's got one already. Decides to kick it over on their goal, and the silence there now for the number 11, the experienced campaigner with the shot. And if it's not your day, it's not your day. The ball, and Kildare are through to the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship semi-finals. A dominant performance without question. Well-deserving winners, 112 to 5 points. Tommy O'Connell, your overall thoughts?
I thought at the beginning we came in